Hello friends, welcome to Asan IAS. Friends, if you can believe, you may start. But if you can understand, you will achieve. In this video, we talk about the Panchanga, our 5 limbs, our 5 steps of essay writing. Most of the aspirants consider essay writing the toughest part of civil service exam. But believe me, if you show some patience and can develop the skills step by step, this is going to be so simple. Before going further, I would like to give you one valuable suggestion here. Don't overlook the journey of UPSC preparation. What did it mean? When a small baby takes the first steps, कितना खुश हो जाते हैं वे. Because the baby is happy with the journey of his own growth. But if he grow watching a group of children always skating around him, and if he keeps comparing his ability with them, how confused and how low he feels. Just imagine. The same is the problem with most of the aspirants. More than 95% of the aspirants focus only on the destination and ignore the journey. Instead of developing the capability step by step to be able to clear this exam, they bypass all the stages assuming they can easily clear them and worry, looking at the difficult questions, or directly they look at the essay, that too philosophical essay, that too the most difficult philosophical essay, and come to conclusion UPSC is difficult. Even such questions can be answered very easily, but you have to develop that skill step by step without seeing these steps. Directly, if you look at that and if you come to a conclusion and if you do not follow or enjoy the journey, how will you get that capability and when will you get it? You cannot jump directly from 0 to 100. So here I will give you a 5-step approach to write a good essay. But understand this, it is not any standard. Because while writing mains answers or even while writing essays, there are no terms and conditions. You can write whatever you want to write. If you can express your thoughts in a coherent manner, in a clear-cut way, and if the reader enjoys what you are trying to express, that is a good essay. Since in the beginning, for those who do not have this habit of writing, just to start somewhere, like I am giving this, like holding the hand of a child while walking initially. After that, it's up to him in what way he want to walk, like how quick he want to walk. Once he practice this, he can walk, he can run, he can jump. The way he wants to go, it's up to him. The first thing here is acknowledgement. Suppose 4 topics will be given in section A according to present pattern and you have to choose one of them. Similarly, 4 topics will be given in section B and you have to choose one of them. Why only this particular one you are choosing? Because you have understood the topic well. Just mention what you have understood. You acknowledge the topic in the first paragraph, or maybe if not 1-2 paragraphs. So it's like introduction. What to write, we will take an example and I will show you. So yes, I have understood the topic. This is what is the first step. Second, it is like index. If you open any book, what all the book contains, there will be index page. Not like with page numbers you mention topic wise. It's like, brief description of the topic. What you are going to write. You structure the points and you mention all those things in 1 or 2 paragraphs. It is easy, even the reader, he can understand what you are going to write in the coming paragraphs, coming pages. Even it will help you also, what you have to write. Like you will understand this, once we take up an example. Third is the major part of the essay, details. So you give the complete explanation. Whatever you mention in the index, all the things, suppose you mention 4-5 points here, and if you explain all these 4-5 points of 150 to 200 words each, that is the third part. It is the major part of the essay. You can say the explanation. Here various dimensions will take up, various aspects will take up with examples, and will go in an elaborate way. We go depth into that. And the fourth part, suppose if you raise any questions here, or if you mention any issues here, so if you mention any issues, you can suggest solutions. If you raise any questions, make sure that they are all answered, so you provide answers here. So you can give suggestions, or you answer any unanswered questions. So such things we mention in the fourth part. And finally, you can ignore this also. Maybe whenever you raise the question, there itself, if you want to answer, you can do that. Suppose if you want to give a reference multiple times, then you can keep the reference here in the fourth part, and you can mention it, in the details. Instead of giving the same details every time, you can mention and you can refer back. You will understand this better, when we take an example. And finally, the closing note, your final words, kind of summary, or you can say conclusion. So simple. 100 to 150 words you can write here. How to write we will see. 100 to 150 words you can write here. 700 to 800 words you can write here. And 100 to 150 words here. And maybe 50 to 100 words here. So simple. It is so simple. Let us take step by step and understand this. Now I take this topic, which was asked in 2021 itself. In fact, I am taking the philosophical essay only. The process of self-discovery has now been technologically outsourced. First, we talk about the acknowledgement, then index, details, solution, and concluding remarks, closing note. This is not any standard structure. Why I am showing you, just for beginners, just एक आसरा दे रहा हूँ पहले, so that it's like when you are a baby, your parents hold your hand when you take the initial steps. Once you learn to walk, then you walk in your own way. You walk, you run, you jump, whatever you want, you do it. It is not any standard. So first we talk about the acknowledgement. That means making sure that this statement is understood. So what is the meaning of this statement? I will write it in multiple ways. First, I am not good at writing things. I am so beginner, for example. I do not remember any quotes because I have not prepared anything. Then also you can write a very good essay. You can score very good marks. You do not know anything. You want to write. It doesn't mean that you do not know anything. Means it's not that you cannot even understand the meanings. You are a capable person, but you have not widely read, or you have not literally remembered by hearted certain things, especially for the purpose of writing an essay. That is what I mean. Means you have not prepared to write an essay, but otherwise, you are a wise man. Then, the process of self-discovery, understand it. Self means self. Discovery, that means knowing self. Who am I? What is my inner self? That journey, that process The journey of knowing myself has now been technologically outsourced. That means even in the journey of knowing myself, how can I know myself? By thinking myself, because I have to know myself. Even that journey has now been technologically outsourced. That means I am outsourcing it to the technology. That means I am depending on technology even in the journey of discovering or knowing my own self. मीन्स मैं कौन हूं ये बताने के लिए भी मैं टेक्नोलॉजी पे डिपेंड कर रहा हूं. दैट इज व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ इट. इतना तो हम समझ सकते हैं. If not, that's what, we are not directly sitting, in the mains exam. इतना तो समझदार बन के ही बैठ रहे हैं ना, तो ये तो समझ में आएगा. But if I just write that line, if I acknowledge I have understood it, but if I just write the journey of knowing my own self, nowadays I am, I am giving it, I am asking a mission to tell me who am I. If I write it in only one line, hardly 20 sentences, how can I make it big? How can I elaborate? How can I narrate or describe it, to have 100, 150 words? That is up to you. For example, let me write this way. Last week, when I was sitting alone on a beautiful hilltop in the Western Ghats, see, ये कोई कहीं मगब करके ऐसा नहीं लिख रहा हूँ. Just, एक beautiful hill station पे गया या बीच पे गया, wherever, one question stuck in my head. Who am I? Whether सच में आप Western Ghats में, you were sitting there last week or not, it's nobody is going to check that. It is not any lie detection test. ऐसे राइटिंग है, आप जो मर्जी लिखना चाहते हो लिखो. It's all, how you want to describe the scene. It is in your hands. जो भी लिख सकते हैं आप, ऐसा कोई नहीं है. ये क्यों आया? Means, it has no relevance here. There is no need of any relevance. Why we call, like, you must have seen the Bahubali movie. And, the visual feast is all one of the reasons for its grand success. Why people call the director of that movie S.S. Rajamouli best storyteller? It's not just, telling the story. It's how you are showing the frame. Even you can describe that frame. Anything you can write. That is up to you. But what you are writing, the thought should be coherent, clear. If you initiate a thought, the thought should be completed. It should not be like half completed. You start talking about something. In the middle, you just stop the flow and you have taken up another thought. Not like this. What you want to convey, if it is clearly expressed, that's what is all essay writing. Essay का मतलब ही ये है. It's not about giving, by hearting something and, rewriting that. It's not about giving some information. Essay means elaboration, narration, storytelling, description. What you want to tell, you can tell. No conditions here. That's why, in fact, this is the easiest part. Hope you are understanding what I mean to say. Even I elaborate further. That was such a pleasant evening and the sunset was so lovely to watch. The scenic beauty of the location had inspired me to dig deep into myself, and in that process, more questions came up in my mind. What is the purpose of my life? What actually I would like to achieve in this life, or a few of them. See, just one imagination. I was sitting, just मुझे एक ख्याल आया, मैं कौन हूं. और सोचने लगा, यार मेरा पर्पस ऑफ लाइफ क्या है, मैं क्या करना चाहता हूं इस लाइफ में. ऐसा क्वेश्चंस आने लगा मुझे. तो मैंने यहां तक ही बात किया अभी. The process of self discovery, even process का भी बात नहीं किया, self discovery means मुझे ऐसा क्वेश्चन आया दिमाग में, सेल्फ डिस्कवरी, अंडरस्टैंडिंग माई सेल्फ, उसके रिलेटेड कुछ ख्याल आया. Now again anything you can write. So what I am doing here, many of us are busy in search of external world and are short of time in understanding the inner self. So वहां से तो मुझे एक ख्याल आया, ये हो गया a thought. This is one thought I have expressed. Now the second thought is, मैं उससे कंटिन्यू कर रहा हूं. जैसा मुझे एक ख्याल आया, who am I means what is my inner self, ऐसा ही हम में बहुत लोग ऐसा है, वे बहुत बिजी है in search of external world, in doing something or other, and are short of time in understanding the inner self. In the present era, because I need to connect to it, technology has made many complex things simpler. Because my thought is like this, see, I am not taking this stand, like really, I am not outsourcing my self-discovery process technologically. I am doing it myself. So I do not accept. Maybe some people might be doing, or half of it we depend on technology also to make it simpler, but it doesn't mean that you have to accept and you have to say that now completely technology के ऊपर छोड़ दिया, ऐसा लिखने की कोई जरूरत नहीं. So I keep it a question mark. I'll take both the stands in the details part. So many of us are busy in search of external world and are short of time in understanding the inner self. In the present era, technology has made many complex things simpler. Will these technological developments help us in conquering the self the easier way? So technology बहुत सारे कॉम्प्लेक्स चीजों को आसान बना दिया, तो ये सेल्फ डिस्कवरी में भी ये मदद करेगा हमको इजी वे में, क्योंकि सेल्फ डिस्कवरी इज नॉट ए सिंपल प्रोसेस. हु नोस व्हाट इज द पर्पस ऑफ दिस लाइफ? Means itna philosophy or itna means Gautam Buddha himself took 7 years to understand this after leaving the teachers in the under that tree. So will these technological developments help us in conquering the self the easier way, or are we over depending on technology even in the process of self understanding? Self-understanding should be done yourself. You should understand yourself. You should look into yourself, with deep thinking and spending time with yourself. But technology can help you in understand somehow, which we'll discuss in the details part, or completely you are giving it on technology and you do not have time for yourself. This is what the way I would like to take it. No prior reading is required to do this. All this is like a small image which came, जो एक दिमाग में ऐसा ख्याल आया जब मैं बहुत ब्यूटीफुल लोकेशन में हिल टॉप में हिल स्टेशन गया हूँ, वहां देख रहा हूँ तो अच्छा था, ऐसा थॉट आया. बहुत लोग ऐसा भाग दौड़ में है तो उनके पास टाइम नहीं है, तो टेक्नोलॉजी उसको कुछ मदद करेगा सेल्फ अंडरस्टैंडिंग में, या वे ज्यादा टेक्नोलॉजी पे डिपेंड करके वे खुद को सोच ही नहीं पा रहा है. इवन सेल्फ अंडरस्टैंडिंग प्रोसेस को भी टेक्नोलॉजी पे छोड़ दिया. क्वेश्चन लगाया मैंने. होप यू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू से. सो हाउ डज इट लुक? So I'm writing this last week when I was sitting alone on a beautiful hilltop in the Western Ghats. One question stuck in my head. Who am I? That was such a pleasant evening and the sunset. This is all, nothing to do with the topic, but you are getting your lines, and don't think you are not mentioning the topic and you are something away. So he just imagine and you show your joy you express your joy in your writing. The scenic beauty of the location has inspired me to dig deep into myself, and in that process, more questions came up in my mind. What is the purpose of my life? What actually I would like to achieve in this life? Or we had any questions? Or a few of them. Many of us are busy in search of external world and are short of time in understanding the inner self. In the present era, technology has made many complex things simpler. Will these technological developments help us in conquering the self or in understanding the self the easier way? Or are we over depending on technology even in the process of self understanding? Even after writing this, I also do this a big question mark, who am I, to make it look even better. इतना simple है. Acknowledgement is nothing. If you understand the topic, you can write whatever you want to write. Here, no knowledge is required. If you would have understood the topic, it is just your narration. Hope you understand. You see, you got 140 to 150 words just like that. Now the same topic I will show you in a different way. Same topic asked in 2021. So acknowledgement, index, details, solution and closing notes. So acknowledgement. First I will write this. I would like to recollect the words of John Milton. He who reigns within himself and rules his passions, desires and fears, he is more than a king. थोड़ा बहुत प्रिपरेशन के बाद इफ यू वांट टू राइट दिस वे यू कैन डू दिस बट आप पूछ सकते हैं ये कौन है जॉन मिल्टन और ये सारे कितना कोट्स याद रखेंगे कैसा याद होगा यस कैसा याद होगा याद नहीं होगा आई हैव नॉट रिमेंबर्ड एनीथिंग दिस इज द एसे टॉपिक गिवन इन 1993 पेपर दैट इज द बेनिफिट ऑफ सॉल्विंग प्रीवियस क्वेश्चंस. Not only in prelims, even in mains, even in essays, if you would have understood the meanings of, various essay topics which were asked in the previous years, if not this 1993, in 2020 itself there was one topic given, mindful manifesto is the catalyst to a tranquil self, that was asked. If you would have understood mindful manifesto, how can you make means thoughtful promises, whatever you mention with a mind, using mind. How can you do this? By understanding yourself, by understanding your capabilities, your ability and all. So self understanding only. So I mean this all will come with little preparation. Otherwise you study so many words. For example, conscience पे 3-4 बार क्वेश्चन आया है. Like in ethics paper, like voice of conscience पे आया है, crisis of conscience पे आया है. मतलब how can you develop this part of emotional intelligence with self-understanding? So it's not anything new. Like you can understand all these terms carefully, which automatically happen in the process of your preparation. What is compassion? What is morality? What is truth? What is honesty? Human values, attitude, passion, character, responsibility, sympathy, empathy. What is scientific temper? What is curiosity? What is knowledge? What is discipline? What is excellence? Success, failure, awareness. Even you talk about spirituality, peace, joy, bliss, happiness, gratitude, conscience, emotion, self-discovery, perception, illusion, reality. All the things, greed, desire, materialism, satisfaction, fulfillment. All the things, once you prepare, these all things are very common. When you understand any topic you take, you can better understand, because there might be new codes. I mean, the topic could have been mentioned differently, but indirectly they are all linked. If you understand those 15-20 terms and those meanings, you can easily understand them. Then even you can remember 40-50 quotes related to each one of them. Anything which is relevant to that you can mention. I have taken this directly, from 1993. This was the exact topic asked. If you know, you do this. Otherwise, the previous way which is already there. Now, I will explain this further. Suppose if you do not know the name, for example, who wrote that quote, you can ignore that. No need to. Directly you can mention this. And even if you do not remember the quote as it is, then also you can mention as your own. Then in such case, don't use inverted commas. So what does it mean? Looking inside and conquering the self, that means understanding the self, is the true way to be successful in this life. Without looking inside, without first being able to hold back the reins of our passions and desires, we will continually find ourselves short of the finish line. We will continually find ourselves undermining our true goals for some illusion of success. So, self-understanding is essential for individual growth. Otherwise, you are running for some materialistic success outside world and you are falling short of something. Ultimate peace and happiness come when you understand yourself. The question is how to understand the inner self. तो इस पैराग्राफ में बात हुआ अंडरस्टैंडिंग द inner self is very important. It is very required, for our own individual growth. That is the actual purpose of life. But how to do this? You can write $1 million question is how to understand the self. Or you can write, but understanding the inner self is not an easy task. Now, I would like to connect it. So, self-discovery की बात हुआ है सारे. Now, I would like to connect it to technology. Because, you see, I am not, writing the entire essay in this itself. Because it is just acknowledgement. It is just, expressing myself that I have understood your topic. In the present competitive era, when everyone is struggling to find some free time, can we invest our time to think and understand our inner self? Can this fast advancement in technology help us in making this process easier? Or are we transferring this like the same which was written in previous slide? Like are we over depending on the technology? That is what I have written. Now I am trying to write in a different way. Or we transferring this process completely into the hands of man-made machines? Hope you understand. You see, this is nothing but the meaning of what is the topic. But it is what you need to do yourself to make it longer. Like, you are adding sentences without deviating from it. So, ultimately, क्या है? Self-understanding is very important. But हमारे पास टाइम नहीं है ये सब करने के लिए. टेक्नोलॉजी तो एक तरफ में डेवलप होते जा रहा है, ये बहुत चीजों को इजी बना रहा है, तो क्या ये प्रोसेस को भी इजी बनाएगा, इस जर्नी को भी इजी बनाएगा? इवन यहां प्रोसेस के जगह जर्नी लिखिए, कोई भी आप वॉट एवर यू वॉन्ट टू यूज. और हम ज्यादा उस पर डिपेंड हो रहा है क्या? होप यू अंडरस्टैंड दिस. So it looks like this. He who reigns within himself and rules his passions, desires and fears is more than a king. Directly taken from the title asked in 1993 paper. That's why even if you remember the statements, even in GS mains also, statements given in many prelims questions, or statements asked directly as questions, in mains itself, they will be a part of answers in most of our mains, whether it is general studies or even essays. Many questions asked in ethics, the statements directly we pick. Hope you understand. If you do not know, simply ignore this. So looking inside and conquering the self is the true way to be successful in this life. Without looking inside, without first being able to hold back the reins of our passions and desires. See, all these lines I have taken, all these lines, don't think a difficult language कहाँ से लेके आया हूँ, इसी से लेके आया हूँ. सो ये सारे पैराग्राफ का बेस है, ये कोट है. ये कोट का बेस है 1993 पेपर का टाइटल, जो मैंने सारे ऐसे जो भी पूछा है उसको मैं सेग्रीगेट करके डिफरेंट कैटेगरी में ऐसा याद रखा हूं. सिर्फ तैयारी के इट्स नॉट पार्ट ऑफ प्रिपरेशन. वैसा याद है तो ये अप्रोच मैं फॉलो करूंगा. अगर याद नहीं होगा तो आई हैव 100 मोर अप्रोचेस. अगर एक कोट मुझे 1993 का एस्से का टाइटल मुझे याद नहीं आया तो क्या प्रॉब्लम है, मैं ऐसा नहीं लिखूंगा, कुछ और तरीका में लिखूंगा. यू ऑलवेज हैव योर ओन चॉइसेस. जैसा पिछले टाइम में देखा, वहां तो कोई कोट लिखा ही नहीं हमने. ये कोई मैंडेटरी नहीं है. ये मत सोचना ये बेटर है कोट लिखा है. पिछले वाला मुझे ज्यादा पसंद है इनफैक्ट, बिकॉज ब्यूटिफुल नैरेट कर रहा हूं मैं. ये इन माई ओन वर्ड्स मैं नैरेट कर रहा हूं, तो इट वॉज my own expression instead of taking quote given by somebody. ये पढ़ने लिखने वाला ये बाय हार्ट करके आके लिखा ऐसा लग रहा है, पिछले ज्यादा अच्छा लग रहा है. सो इट्स योर चॉइस. होप यू आर अंडरस्टैंडिंग दिस. So I am continuing. The question is how to understand the inner self. In the present competitive era, when everyone is struggling to find some free time, can we invest our time to think and understand our inner self? ऐसा ही लैंग्वेज लिखने का कोई जरूरत नहीं. You can write in your own way because self-understanding takes time. You need to think of yourself. You need to find out what you are. What are your, but I am not writing all those because और भी लिखना है ना, और भी आगे लिखना है वे सारे. Hope you understand. So again you got 140, 150 words, simply completely different approach than what we have done earlier. Hope you are getting this. Now let me write the same topic in a different way. So the process of self-discovery has now technologically outsourced. Acknowledgment, index, details, solution, closing note. So हम acknowledgement की बात कर रहा है. सपोज मुझे कोई कोट याद नहीं है, मैंने 1993 का एस्से पेपर नहीं देखा और जो कोट मुझे याद नहीं है, मैं दूसरा कोट को भी कुछ याद नहीं रखा हूं. सपोज आई हैव गुड होल्ड ऑन एथिक्स फॉर एग्जांपल, बिकॉज एथिक्स एनी हाउ यू हैव टू प्रिपेयर. एथिक्स में एक टॉपिक है इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस. Self-awareness is one of the key in emotional intelligence. When you study emotional intelligence, we understand self-awareness because that is what which actually helps in having mindfulness while taking certain decisions. Or you can remember the 2020 essay, Mindful Manifesto is the catalyst to a tranquil self. Or even there was a question in 2019 regarding, not only in 2019, many a times questions were asked in ethics regarding, this emotional intelligence के ऊपर. And it is also mentioned in the syllabus also. So if you know, then you can start altogether based on that backdrop because you must have prepared. So we'll talk about the self. All of us have some unique inner force, which is a combination of our character, potential, priorities, interests, or you want to mention more, belief systems, values, ethics, principles, whatever you want to write. Different combination of these features make each of us unique. I'm trying to elaborate. Otherwise, even ये मत लिखो, कोई problem नहीं है. Like, I am adding sentences without deviating from the meaning. So I am engaging the reader and increasing my number of words. As simple as that. Otherwise, simply if you stick to the title and if you directly to the point you want to mention, you hardly come up with 100 words. How can you make it 1000 words? That's why. So we all have some inner force or inner self, which is a combination of various characteristics, and different combination of these makes each of us unique. This inner force or simply the inner self is what actually drives us. Hope you understand. If we can understand our inner self, we can take charge of our life and can make it meaningful. In some situations, when a tough moral decision is to be taken, all this you come across in emotional intelligence, in ethics. How will you take a tough call morally, using your what do you call emotional intelligence? How will you use it? With the help of knowledge of inner self. Means by knowing yourself. What are your priorities? What are your values? If you know yourself, then you can take the right call and you can justify it also tomorrow, because that is your value system. Every time, rules will be there, rules and regulations or laws. After that, sometimes, you have to follow the morals, which have, after following the rules hoga to clearly whatever rules say, you follow that, being an officer. After that, still you have some question, you follow your moral, right? It varies person to person. So, but you must have clarity on what morals you have. Means what are you? First, you need to know yourself. You cannot change it. One time that way, one time this way. You should have clarity on yourself. So, in some situations, when a tough moral decision is to be taken, the knowledge of inner self plays a vital role, plays a major role. But how many of us can really invest time in understanding this inner self? सो मैंने इनर सेल्फ के इम्पोर्टेंस बताया. ये सारे नॉलेज ये मत सोचना ये मुझे बिल्कुल समझ में नहीं आ रहा है. इसलिए समझ में नहीं आ रहा है कि इफ यू आर ए बिगिनर मे भी समझ में नहीं आ रहा होगा. अदरवाइज आफ्टर गोइंग थ्रू बेसिक्स ऑफ एथिक्स ऑल टॉपिक्स you can easily understand this. If not this, you have your own words to mention that. That's why it is not any something which exclusively certain people can do. All of us can do. Yet the technology is advancing in the present era. Now I am connecting it to that. Can we take the technology help in understanding the self the easier way, or is this busy life forcing us to completely depending on technology even in conquering the inner self? This way you can write. So there is no way, even if not like this, you can start with Gautam Buddha. You can mention, obviously he also had self-realization, self-discovery he has done, right? So you can mention a small story, after leaving his palace, he went and all that story you can mention, then you can come to the point. Or if you remember in culture, we have studied in religion and philosophy topic in miscellaneous part. We talked about, if you remember, that is Sankhya philosophy. In Sankhya philosophy, self-realization is the key, which actually make the helps the Purusha, the release of Purusha from Prakriti. There are two things, Purusha and Prakriti. The release of Purusha and Prakriti will happen, with the self-realization. Or if you know more about philosophy, you can talk about Atma and Brahman and all. How you want to come means self-realization or self-understanding or conquering the inner self. इन चीजों के बारे में कहीं भी कुछ भी पढ़ा हो आपको स्ट्राइक हुआ, उन चीजों से आप उठा के कुछ लिख सकते हैं. It is completely your call what you want to write. There is no standard in this. Standard rule कुछ भी नहीं. So it looks like that. So all of us have some unique inner force, which is a combination of our character, potential, etc., etc. These features, different combination of these features make each of us unique, and this inner self is what actually drives us. But if we can understand this, it is going to be very useful. But we do not have time to find this. So टेक्नोलॉजी बहुत एडवांस हो रहा है आजकल, क्या ये हमको सेल्फ अंडरस्टैंडिंग में मदद करेगा, या हम उस सेल्फ अंडरस्टैंडिंग को भी टेक्नोलॉजी पे डिपेंड करेंगे? मींस ज्यादा डिपेंड करके हम उसको भी, सेल्फ अंडरस्टैंडिंग का मतलब सेल्फ अंडरस्टैंडिंग, तो उसको भी हम मिस इंटरप्रेट करके वे भी उसको भी स्लेव बनेंगे. So that is what is all. So again you got 140, 150 words, you see. So anything you can write. This is acknowledgement, is simply, you have understood the topic, but describe that to increase the number. But it doesn't mean that irrelevantly you should not do that. का मतलब it should correct. का मतलब the flow should be coherent. The thoughts should be clear, meaningful, ordered, structured. These things you have to understand. Now you see, so we are talking about this, we have understood the acknowledgement, now we talk about the index. Means what we are going to write in the essay. What questions are, what are the contents of your essay? First I will list down somewhere in the rough page. Like, what is self-discovery? If you see this, you can get this from the topic itself. That's why you can spend 15-20 minutes in understanding and doing all this. So what is self-discovery? So I will note down somewhere. What is self-discovery? Now, what is the journey of self-discovery, or means what is the process of self-discovery? Hope you understand. Or what are the important steps of self-discovery? Or you can say, what is self-discovery? How to achieve it? How to do this? What is the process of self-discovery? How to do this? Then, what are the benefits? Why to do this? Why self-discovery? What is self-discovery? How to do self-discovery? Why to do self-discovery? What is the need of self-discovery? Why it is important? Then come to technology. How the technology is helpful. Here if you want to make, you can make two things. One, is there any help that technology can do? But if you take up this question, then you should have something in your mind so that in details you can present the answers. Like, can it make it? Can somehow it can help you? For example, in the old time, Gautam Buddha required some guru. That's why, he had to go, leaving his all together and stay with the guru. But now, technology, you can ask Google, but you need to know which is making sense to you or not. It's you to take out of it. But now, technology is definitely useful. It makes things easier. It makes many things accessible to you. So definitely it has its role. So how the technology is helpful in the process of self-discovery, that means the positive aspect of technology in the process of self-discovery. And if the process of self-discovery has now been technologically outsourced, that means the negative side. Here it is actually technological outsource means, see, you can take help of the technology, but you have to do it yourself. This UPSC preparation, you have to prepare yourself. You can take help of anybody. Like, we all can help you. We can give you some tools. We can make the things easier for you so that, you can go and crack the exam. But nobody can write the exam on behalf of you. It's you. The same way self-discovery you have to do because you are studying yourself. Even for that also, if I develop a standard formula and if you do that, how it is called self-discovery? So definitely, if you completely depend on technology and blindly accept that, that is no more a self-discovery. Hope you understand. You can take up these 5 points, or maybe 4 and 5 you can mix up. You can merge and simply write what is the role of technology in the process of self-discovery. You can make 4 things, no problem. That is up to you. So I will write these questions somewhere, and now I will make a paragraph out of these, briefly explaining them. See how it looks. Now you see how we build the index part. See, just to make you understand, I am telling this. Otherwise, we don't keep any heading that it is index or something. We continue the next paragraph. So we have 5 questions which we questioned ourselves. What is self-discovery? What is the process of self-discovery? What are the benefits of self-discovery? How the technology is helpful in the process of self-discovery? And are we over depending on technology? That is the 5th one. So we write like this. Understanding the inner self is the most important requirement for taking charge of our lives. This is completely your choice. You see, it's not to mug up the same lines. You can write anyway. So it is most important requirement for taking charge of our lives. So the journey of self-discovery is an essential part of everyone's life. People who have followed this path can take right decisions at right time and can lead their life in a meaningful way. सारे एथिक्स से उठाया वैसा है तो मतलब उस तरह की. सो सेल्फ डिस्कवरी का नीड को मैंने पहले बताया, तो ये यूजफुल है बिकॉज यू नो टू टेक चार्ज ऑफ योर ओन लाइफ. And those who have followed this path, they can take, right decisions at right time and can lead their life in a meaningful way, or can take, can live better life, peaceful life, or happy life, joyful life, whatever you want to mention. In the process of self-discovery, many questions arise because now I'm answering. So here I mentioned, understanding the inner self is indirectly self-discovery, because you don't define what is self-discovery. If you define everything here itself, 2 paragraphs in defining what is self-discovery, if you write all this, what will you write in details then? That's why this index is just to mention only questions के रूप में ही रहेगा, but question mark ऐसा नहीं रहेगा. Questions को थोड़ा पैराग्राफ में कन्वर्ट कर रहा है. Hope you are understanding this. In the process of self-discovery, many questions arise, and in search of answers, technology can be helpful. But at the same time, one should aware that this is a journey of oneself in understanding one's own inner self. So completely depending on the technology can altogether undermine its sole purpose. क्वेश्चंस 1 to 3 मैंने इस पैराग्राफ में कवर किया, क्वेश्चंस 4 and 5 को मैंने दूसरा पैराग्राफ में कवर किया. इफ यू वुड हैव अंडरस्टूड. सो सेल्फ डिस्कवरी, प्रोसेस ऑफ सेल्फ डिस्कवरी एंड इस need of self discovery, benefits of self discovery. So in the first paragraph, then the role of technology. So technology is helpful, but at the same time, ये आपका जर्नी है, आपको करना है. तो कंप्लीटली टेक्नोलॉजी पे डिपेंड करोगे तो ये कंप्लीट सोल पर्पस को ही अंडरमाइन करेगा. तो ये मैं क्या बताने वाला हूं, ये भी मैंने हिंट दे दिया यहाँ ही. मैं डिटेल में एलॉबरेट करूंगा फर्दर स्टेप्स में. सो दिस इज गोइंग टू बी द इंडेक्स. होप यू अंडरस्टैंड दिस. सिंपल. नाउ यू सी हाउ डज इट लुक. So it looks like this. Understanding the inner self is the most important requirement for taking charge of our lives. So the journey of self-discovery is an essential part of everyone's life. People who have followed this path can take right decisions at right time and can lead their life in a meaningful way. In the process of self-discovery, यहाँ कोई examples वैसा मत देना, यहाँ गौतम बुद्धा की बात मत करना, because it is just index. You are not elaborating anything here, which we will do in the next step. Here, you see all the 5 questions, हर क्वेश्चन को 150 वर्ड्स आंसर के रूप में, मीन्स 1 या 2 पैराग्राफ सबको लिखेंगे ना. दैट इज व्हाट इज द डिटेल्स थर्ड स्टेप. तभी तो 500-600 वर्ड्स वहां बनाना है आपको. होप यू आर अंडरस्टैंडिंग दिस. So in the process of self-discovery, many questions arise, and in search of answers, technology can be helpful. But at the same time, one should aware that this is a journey of oneself in understanding one's own inner self. So completely depending on the technology can altogether undermine its sole purpose. Even if you want, I do not recommend, just अगर in case आपको लगता है तो 5 questions आपने राइज किया, you can also show contents 5, इसलिए मैंने पेंटागन को ड्रा किया. तो one question was what is self discovery, second question was what is the process of self discovery, third question was what is the need of self discovery, fourth question was use of technology in the process of self discovery, and fifth question was the issue of technology dominance. Like if you over depend on technology, then the sole purpose will be undermined. So contents को भी मैंने एक डायग्राम बनाया, बट ऐसे इतना डायग्राम्स बनाने की जरूरत नहीं है. ये आपका मर्जी है, अगर 2 एसेस में एक का बनाओ एक का रहने दो, ये कंप्लीटली आपका चॉइस है, व्हाट टू डू व्हाट नॉट टू डू. अगर आपको बिल्कुल लिख के मोनोटोनस लग रहा है तो छोटा सा ऐसा बनाना चाहते हो तो यू कैन डू दैट आल्सो, नॉट एन इश्यू. होप यू अंडरस्टैंड दिस. सिंपल 2 स्टेप्स. यू सी, हम कोई नॉलेज ज्यादा कहीं से मगब वाला चीज कुछ लिखा नहीं है, बट यू ऑलरेडी हैव रिटन ऑलमोस्ट 300 वर्ड्स. 2 limbs you already have built. Hope you understand. Now even हर चीज के बारे में 2 पैराग्राफ इतना भी लिखोगे तो अगेन 150 वर्ड्स हर चीज पे बनाओगे, 5 चीजों पे. यहाँ एग्जांपल्स भी दोगे तो और ज्यादा बनेगा. Now you also have control over your essay. What to write further? Now you have clarity. You made questions yourself, and if you write something, just इतना तो लिखना बड़ी बात नहीं है हर क्वेश्चन पे. तो 5 बार ऐसा लिखोगे तो आपको 600-700 वर्ड्स दोबारा बन गया, एंड उसको समराइज करते हुए कंक्लूड करो. सो सिंपल. वे हम अगले वीडियो में देखेंगे. नाउ these 2 steps, let me show you in one go. Suppose if you do not want to take 5 questions, 4th question and 5th question को आप मैच भी करना चाहते हो, you can do that. So then it looks like this. Contents, what is self-discovery, what is the process of self-discovery, what is the need of self-discovery, role of technology in the process of self-discovery. 4 things. अगर 150 to 200 वर्ड्स में इन चारों चीजों के बारे में लिखोगे तो अगेन 600 to 800 वर्ड्स यहां से आ गया. ऑलरेडी यू हैव मेंशन 250-300 वर्ड्स, कंक्लूजन हो गया तो 1000 से ज्यादा हो रहा है. आराम से आप बना रहे का मतलब टॉपिक छोटा है का मतलब सीधा टॉपिक पे एक लाइन में बात करके मुद्दा को खत्म नहीं करना, आपको उसको एलॉबरेट करते जाना, नरेट करना. दैट इज द एबिलिटी यू हैव टू डेवलप, एंड इन फैक्ट दैट इज द requirement of essay writing. That is what he wants to check, that capability in you the paper setter is expecting. How you narrate, how your thoughts go in a consistent way. Suppose if you think on one thing for some time, क्या आपका thoughts एक order में है, आप उतना देर सोच पाओगे या नहीं? That is what is the idea of essay writing. Nothing else. It's not about any knowledge. Otherwise, all this knowledge you automatically gain in the process of your simple preparation. So now you see how it looks. I am taking even the first one because it is the easiest one. I am not worried of anything. जो इमेज मेरे दिमाग में आया, वैसा मैं घूमता रहता हूँ, मैं कहीं बैठा हूँ वैसा मैं सोच रहा हूँ और उसको लिख रहा हूँ. तो देन बीच में हुआ मैं ये भी लगाया, फिर मैं कंटिन्यू कर रहा हूं. अंडरस्टैंडिंग द इनर सेल्फ इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट रिक्वायरमेंट फॉर टेकिंग चार्ज ऑफ आवर लाइव्स. देन आई एम कंटिन्यू. सो द जर्नी ऑफ सेल्फ डिस्कवरी, और सेम वर्ड भी नहीं लिखना चाहते हैं तो सेल्फ अंडरस्टैंडिंग यू कैन राइट, सेल्फ अवेयरनेस, वॉट एवर यू वॉन्ट टू राइट. Or journey of knowing the self, whatever you want to write. So it is an essential part of everyone's life and all this. Then the contents. Hope you understand this. So these are the first 2 steps. Simply you can build them. First understand this much. Now let us elaborate all these things in the next video. So very easily we can reach the required limit of 1000 words. Even we can cross it if required. But we also should control ourselves so that it will be within the limit. Hope you understand this. So I will stop this video here, and in the next video I will continue and explain the further steps. Thank you for watching this video.